So this is something I'm gonna do a little bit different. I know I'm posting it on my YouTube as far as videos, my trading YouTube, and I'm also putting this on my transformation with Sennet podcast. So this is a little different from my YouTube, but it's almost pretty much the same for my transfer from Sennet for Sennet podcast. Here's the thing: I haven't posted in a while on my YouTube, not my YouTube. Where my YouTube has been 45 days, and I haven't posted anything on my podcast for a minute because we're gonna get into that. There's been a few things that transpired since the last time I dropped the episode, really. And I'm sorry if you can hear the AC in the back. It is what it is. It's hot where I'm at. So while I'm documenting this journey at 45, of course, if you haven't been following me a while, I have been retired since 2023, which was it is almost about 3 years. Right at 3 years that I've been retired. Um, and since then, of course, I'm gonna get right into it. Life hit me. Of course, for my traders, I still trade. I've been trading 7 years, going on 8 years now. But we're not gonna get into that. It's a little different. So the reason why I'm documenting this journey is and I have my notes right here as well because my bullet points I tend to forget sometimes. It all started when I lost my pops, and that was my best friend. So that was one of them things that hit me pretty hard. And in the span of 3 years, I lost my nephew, and I just recently lost my mom. So those three things right there. And of course, I had some kidney issues when I retired out the military. A year after I retired, I had a nephrostomy bag. I had to go. I gained weight, and all those things hit me at at one time. So I'm not doing this podcast right now to tell you to have a pity party or the things of that nature, but just to let you know that life still happens, whether good, bad, or indifferent, and you still have to keep ticking and keep moving on. Okay. Um, let's talk about why I decided to record this process instead of just waiting until I made it all. So if you've been following me for a while, and again, we ain't talking about trading. I do my shorts later on this week. Um, for those who follow me on that end. So if you really realize, let's go back real quick. We don't go too far deep into it, but around 2020, around 2015, I was in the hospital. Almost had a heart attack because I was overweight. All right. So then I moved forward to Hawaii. I actually lost the weight. I went into Hawaii around 250, 5'9", 250. Go figure in the Army. I shouldn't be that healthy. All right. So I end up losing around 60, 70 pounds in the 4 years I was in Hawaii. And I moved back to Texas, and I was still doing pretty good at my new job, still lifting weights and still running a lot. But the biggest thing that hit me is when, of course, my dad passed away. And then I would say maybe a year later, maybe 6 months to a year later, my nephew passed away. And right around that time is when I started having the kidney issues. All right. And then that whole time, my mom's dementia is getting worse. And so through that time, I couldn't work out. I was still working. I was teaching at a martial arts. I'm not going to get into that, but I was still teaching and working. But as I'm going around with this nephrostomy bag, I just kind of got into my own feelings and I kind of quit. Well, I stopped working out and I started gaining weight. All right. So with that being said, and of course, now I'm back in the position where I haven't gained the 870, 60, 70 pounds back. I'm just at 5'9", around 215 again. All right. So my goal this time, what I realized on this new journey at 45, I realizing that life is not over. Life is just starting again. I just realized that not just realized, but I was in the military, did my 24 years. And now I've had some highlights in my life since I've retired. I'm just completed my bachelor's degree in IT and software development, full stack software development. So that's a plus that I realize. And of course, I'm still trading as well. I've been trading 7 years. That's the biggest thing. Is so I'm not gonna continue to highlight the bad things that happen and try to make excuses of why I gained my weight back. It just happens. You know, I was on cloud nine in Hawaii. I had lost the weight. I was running marathons and things of that nature. But guess what? As long as I'm still alive, I can still continue to go on to this next journey. All right. So what I'm building is my career continued growth. I just, like I said, I just got my degree, where I'm waiting on my conferral date. But my last class was just this week, so I pretty much have to wait for my conferral, make sure they do everything. But I'm pretty much, I got a 3 point something, 3.9, 3.97 GPA, so I'm good. I'm gonna get my bachelor's, and go figure. I hated school growing up. Even in the military, I just hated going to school. The only reason I went to school because it was military, and I had to, okay, to get promoted. All right, so and I'm just going off the whim. Uh, the real transformation happens, I would say, um, on ordinary days, and that's what I had to realize coming from Hawaii to here, that I've done it before and I can do it again, and I've started again. You know, going back, lifting weights, body weight exercises, getting my daily walks in, making sure, ladies and gentlemen, always make sure you know your numbers when it comes to the hospital, not hospital, to your labs and your health. Always go get your blood pressure checked, check your sugar levels, check your kidney levels, because if you just wait until it's too late, sometimes it's too late. All right. Health is the big thing that I got, that I'm really want to harp on, because a lot of the times, and I see a lot of people talking about the um, they want freedom, time freedom, and this and that and the third, 9 to 5s, all that good stuff. Uh, but you cannot have time freedom if you're in bad health. All right. And it's hot in here. My neck seems like it's sweating. It is hot down here in the south. All right. So let me get back into it. All right. Uh, I just started my business because this is the lane I want to be in, my Sennet Digital Solutions business. And I'm not doing this for a plug, but that's the way I'm going. All right. So what I want to speak to you about, just on a small little a bit, the lessons I've learned is progress beats perfection. When I was in Hawaii, I lost those 60, 70 pounds in 3, 4 years. I was doing it the wrong way. All right. The biggest thing I was doing was I was burning 4,000 calories a day, but I wasn't eating. That was the problem. So that's why I lost so much weight so quick, 70 pounds in 4 years, and I was in the best shape of my life. So, but the problem was I wasn't eating. When I went to the dietitian, they say, "Man, you burning 4,000 calories a day, but you're only taking in 19 to 2,000 calories a day." So that's the biggest thing that you have to look at. All right. So this time I'm doing it the right way. I'm making sure I do my body weight exercises, my lifting weights, my walking, my running as well. Biggest thing also I realize is you got to stretch, man. Stretching is key, man. Stretching is key, and eating right. If you're gonna lift weights and work out and walk, you got to eat, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the realest thing. I was so focused on being skinny, and I got down to 150 something. And of course, my joints were feeling better and all these other things, but it's not, it starts in the kitchen. But if you don't eat right and eat healthier, you know what I'm saying? And every now and then give yourself a treat, but you got to know your numbers. You got to know your lab numbers. All right. And so the next thing I want to talk about is I realized that I'm not back at square one, but I realized that transformation takes time. It don't happen overnight, and I encourage everybody who's dealing with health issues, financial issues, mental health issues. Those are big things. I'm gonna talk about that as well. Is that it just takes time, man. Time. As long as you wake up in the morning and you have another day, you can take your time with it. As long as you progress every single day. All right, but like I said, progress beats perfection every single day. Just do something. That's what I realized. All right, in my journey, especially my health journey, drink an extra bottle of water a day. You know what I'm saying? Back away from a bag of chips. Or stretching. Doing a set of push-ups. If you can't do push-ups, do a set of sit-ups. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect. Just do something. In the everyday life nowadays, you see on YouTube, you see on social media, you see these perfectly fit people, blah blah blah. You can't look at them, man. You got to just know your plan, and your plan might not be somebody else's plan, and it don't have to be perfect. What I learned in my whole journey, now on my second go round journey, is that I don't have to have the perfect plan. I don't have to have the perfect workout plan. I don't have to have the perfect diet plan. Now let me rephrase that. I don't have to have the perfect diet plan, in meaning I don't have to count all my macros. I don't have to I just eat what God put on earth, or whoever you believe in. If it has less than 3 ingredients, just eat it and move on about your day. You get what I'm saying? As long as your output, as far as your working out output, is more than your input, that's what really matters. I was so focused on that to the T, and I got it. If that's your career, got it. But for the average everyday person, stop stressing, go to the doctor, find your levels, look at your levels, start eating better, the best you can, and just move. Get your body moving again. All right. Small, consistent actions become big results. All right. If you just let it compound every single day. All right. And there are going to be some challenges in this world. There are going to be some challenges. I can promise you that. All right. The reason being is that because, losing my dad first, my best friend, and that hit me hard. It hit me hard. That was the first time I really realized what mental health was. You know what I'm saying? And then recently, of course, my nephew, that hit me hard. He was only 2 years old. And so I had those compounded, and I'm still working on that. I still, I go to my mental health provider, talk through that, and my biggest thing right now is that I am still have the soldier mentality a lot of times with getting up early in the morning, the discipline on certain things, certain things I let slack off. We was human, so, but I'm transitioning to my other life. That's what I realized at 45. I'm sorry. I'll be 46 this year. All right. So, again, I'm transitioning. All right. And I know I've been rambling, and this is just my podcast journal of my everyday life, getting back to where I used to be, or where my new goal is going to take me. All right. So if you see this on YouTube, hey, just comment down below what you rebuilding on. You don't have to tell me what you've been through. Just let me know what's your goal and what you working towards, whether it's financial freedom, health, mental health, working back towards that. And just take it one small action at a time. When you get up on Monday morning, you might hate your job, but be thankful. The first thing I would say is be thankful for what you have. That's what my mom used to tell me. And I know it's cliche. You hear that a lot, but just be thankful for what you have when you go to work on Monday morning. And if you don't like that job, continue to work towards something else that you do like, but it takes small actions to equal up to the big action. But if you never work on moving to that next level, you're going to be there 10 years from now. And that's spoken from somebody who did 24 years. That was just something I wanted to do. Me and myself, my dad, was one of them things that he said, if you join, you got to retire. And I did, and it also hit me hard that they wasn't able to see me walk across the stage at retirement. They not going to see me walk across the stage getting my bachelor's in IT. They wasn't here to see me start my Sennet digital solutions business, but it's okay. All right. I'm on my next chapter in my life, and I have to realize what I had to realize is that They raised me the best they could. So I take the life lessons that they gave me and I move forward. Yes, I'm still dealing with it, them not being here. My mom would be here. She would be laughing that I'm about to graduate with a bachelor's in IT because she know how much I hated school. All right. So what I challenge the audience, challenge you guys today is just write down your goals, man. Write down your goals and figure out what you actually want to do in life. Don't follow nobody else. You can have some motivation. If you follow, if you're religious, you follow God, or whoever you follow, it's up to you. As long as you're not hurt nobody, you cool in my book. Write down your goals and don't put a timestamp on them when you first start. Because when you start putting a timestamp on it, that could fuck with your mentals a little bit. Excuse my language. But write down all your goals and then just start trying to accomplishing them one by one. So there was something we did in the military was we did 30, 60, 90, 120, 180, training plans, our goals, it wasn't goals, but it was training schedules. So write that down with your goal. Write your 30-day plan, your 60-day plan, your 90-day plan, 120-day plan. I want to be here by this time. But if you're not, it's okay. If you want to lose 10 pounds and keep it off in 120 days or 30 days, 90 days, if you only get 5 pounds, that's fine. You still walking towards that goal. If you don't like your job, hey, start working towards finding a new career path, something you like. But I realized that you can't have excuses, man. I can sit there and say, you know what, I gained that weight back. I gained 50, 60 pounds back. I'm going to just sit down and cry, blah, blah, blah. I realize that ain't going to help me. Them excuses ain't going to help me. But what ain't going to help me either is trying to lose all that weight again like I did, doing the same thing again the wrong way. This time I have to plan it perfectly. Not perfectly, I have to plan it properly and move forward. And also, I want to end this too as well for my traders, for my YouTube community. Everybody know I swing trade. Stop following all these guys and these YouTubers and these Instagram and these TikToks talking about they made 10,000 a day in one trade. It's okay to keep your job while you swing trade, while you trading. Stop trying to quit your job to be a full-time day trader. Not saying it don't work for everybody. I'm not saying that. What I'm speaking towards is the 9-to-5 workers or the people who have jobs that want to make a little extra money. Stop quitting your job. Why would you quit your job when you have that income? You keep that income and then move forward as far as swing trading, and then check out my other videos as well. I'm going to be dropping a lot more content on that as well. But swing trading, if you have a job, trying to day trade, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm also saying it's a lot harder. I tried it when I was in the military. Didn't work for me. Not saying it won't work for you. And if from other people that are just following my podcast, Transforming with Sennet, this Monday morning, don't look at how much you hate your job. Look at the good things in life. Look at the better things. All right, I'm going to this job. I'm going to have a good attitude. And yes, somebody might piss you off during the day. Oh, well, guess what? Don't let it get to you. Just look at the good things in life. Because you know what? If we go through life just dwelling on all the bad shit that happened, we just gonna be in a bad fucking mood all the time. You feel me? So, again, drop down in the comments on YouTube what you rebuilding right now. All right. And then commit to one small action every week on both sides, podcast and my YouTube. I want you to commit to one small action this week. One small action. All right. Again, I just want to thank everybody for listening and taking your time on a Monday morning or whenever you're listening to it. Again, next week, we'll talk about something different. But I'm going to keep encouraging y'all, and hopefully you continue to follow me on this journey. All right. Other than that, all gas, no brakes.